Hi everyone and welcome back. In this video I'll be unboxing the 1/60th scale Sandrock Gundam Custom full resin kit. This kit is made by SH Studio and designed by GM Dream. The version I got here is the Sandrock Custom, the purple one. This is number 4 of the Wing series of kits they are putting out. I think they're putting out like 10 to 12 kits. Obviously there are 2 versions of each of the 5 main Gundams, and I think they're doing Epion and Wing Snow White as well. So even though it is number 4, but so far there's only 2 heavy arms and 2 Sandrocks. Packaging is the usual nice cover box, and inside you get 2 smaller boxes with some nice photos of the finished kit. Inside the first box, you get an accessories pouch that includes 2 sheets of decals. This set of sheets are used for both versions of the Sandrock, but for some reason they don't have the logo for the custom version, so the SR2 logo. They did do different logos for the 2 heavy arms, so I'm not sure why they didn't do it for this Sandrock. So that's a little bit disappointing. Next, you get the ABC cloak, and it's actually cloth, which is very nice. And it's also got some custom cut pattern, which is a nice touch. They also provide another patch of uncut cloth, in case you want to make your own cloak. After that, you get some collector's cards. Apparently, if you collect all the cards, i.e. buy all the kits, you get some bonus prizes. But I wonder how many people are gonna buy all 10 kits. Next up, there are some metal parts for joints to add strength to the full resin kit. After that, you get the manual, but we'll look at that in a bit. Let's look at the resin parts. If you've seen the other PG SH Studio unboxing videos before, you know the quality is always pretty nice, details are always crisp, and you only need to do a little bit of filling and sanding. In the next box, you get the plastic frame parts. It is the usual frame that they use. And no, these don't form a complete inner frame. They are pretty much just used for joints. Underneath are more parts. Here is the beam show tells. And this kit has actually got quite a few parts, because it's got a lot of inner frame details and open hatch gimmicks, which sounds great on paper, but not so much when it's a resin kit. Because when you pair resin and movable together, that means it's gonna be loose. And also with the resin kit, it's not recommended to move or tinker with the kit when it's painted anyway. So a lot of these gimmicks I really don't care about, and actually would prefer if they aren't present. Now let's look at the manual. I sound like a broken record, but the manual is pretty much the same as the other kits. You get a list of parts at the beginning, and here it shows all the different versions of the Sandrock you can get. For the normal Sandrock, you get the shield and rival, and in the custom version, which I have here, you get the cloak and the shoulder parts. You can also get the armadillo parts as well, if you want to. After that, you have your box standard assembly. The red parts here are the plastic frame parts, so you get a good view of how they're used within the kit. Now this is a good time to talk about my frustration with SH Studio. I've always had problems with wrong or missing parts for their 1/60th kits, ever since their first kit, the Gunpla type. It is whenever I pre-order their kits and get the very first batch, it always come with wrong parts or missing parts. Especially in the Gunpla, I had more than 20 wrong parts. This on its own isn't a big issue if they are proactive in helping you, but it's quite well known about SX Studio's customer service. They basically treat you like an idiot. And for the Gunpla, I told them I had 20 plus wrong parts, and they simply said it's not possible. And in this Sandrock kit, I was missing 1 part, and another part I got 2 of the same parts instead of having 1 left and 1 right. Their response after I told them about it was, please check carefully. And when I said I've checked multiple times, they simply just sent me an okay hand emoji. Freaking lovely. And then the part took about a month to replace, despite them saying it'll take a week. And when I've got the package all the way to here in the UK, I found out there's only one part here and they've missed the other. So the whole replacement process began again. And this is why I've got the kit in August, but I'm only able to do this video now in November. And the truth is, I'm so tired of communicating with them. It feels like I'm having to beg for replacement parts when it's their error. So I'm actively avoiding pre-ordering their kits now and get them after the initial batch. I tried this with the Sandrock that I've just done, and that didn't have any missing parts. So I guess this strategy works. Anyway, one thing I wish there are more of in this manual is more detailed photos of the custom version. Little tip here, you should add screws to screw these joints into the back, because this part is what is holding the entire arm, so glue on its own wouldn't be secure enough. What's not great is a lot of the parts literally don't lock in together, and it's really clear that you're expected to glue all the parts together, but it's much more preferable if they slot in better in the first place. In this skirt part, literally nothing stays in place. In some places like here, you can pin the parts together, but it depends if the part is thick enough and you can hide the pins. And this is what the kit looks like assembled, more or less. I say more or less because a lot of the parts just don't stay in place without glue. Just look at the amount of tape I have to use just to hold the things in place. And even then the stability is quite bad. That's why I have it leaning back to the stand. Otherwise there's no chance for it to stand up without glue. But obviously it'll be fine once all the parts are secured. Overall the kit looks really great. And again, the part separations is good too, which means it won't be too complicated to mask and paint. A personal problem I have is with all the movable parts. Like I said before, it's not recommended to move things after painting because you can easily scratch it by moving. So I don't really find the opening hatches that nice. And the outcome of that is everything is very flimsy. The worst offenders are the legs. Parts will just fall apart with the slightest touch. But yeah, it's unfortunate because I like to show off more things like the articulation and holding the beam show tells, etc. But it's just not possible without gluing. Now let's put on the shoulder parts. They sit pretty well and catch the shoulders pretty well. I might add some magnets to snap things in place for extra safety, but we'll see. And let's do the cape as well. Fitting the cape in place was simple, but it was just really challenging with how fragile the whole kit is. Obviously it'll be fine once it's glued. But yeah, it looks really cool. Safe to assume though that you won't be displaying it like this for the most part, hiding the whole kit underneath. So that's it for the unboxing. This is a commission by Albert, so thanks Albert for this. And this is scheduled for March next year, so don't expect to see this finish anytime soon. Having said that, stay tuned for the next unboxing video coming soon. We'll see you in the next one.